So good morning. Yeah, I know I said it a little bit ago. So here today, I'm just going to talk a little about living expenses here in Nicaragua, which one of the reasons why Daemen and I moved here to Nicaragua. So, you know, we got to all remember, we all have a different lifestyle, right? So if I tell you my budget is between $1,200-$1,500 a month, and I own my own home, or we own our own home, and but we also have expenses that we're keeping separate because those are considered business expenses. So I'm just talking about living expenses, right? For example, you know, the dog food. You know, we have 6 puppies. I call them puppies, but they're slightly more than a puppy. And so for the 6 puppies, we buy, or they eat, a 50-pound bag every 5-6 days, okay? And right now, the 50-pound bag is 1,000 Cordobas. I'm going to do everything in Cordobas because then you just have to convert it to what the dollar rate is today or where you're listening. So right now today the dollar exchange rate is around 35.50, 35.60 depending where you get the change, okay? So that is for dog food. Electricity, if you look at your electric bill, again, it all depends how you use it. So we have 5 air conditioners, and luckily we have been able to adapt and never ever use the air conditioning units in the home. They were there when we bought the home, but we never used them. However, we have in the home itself 5 refrigerators. And as some of you might know, refrigerators take a lot of juice, right? And you might say, oh, gosh, that's a lot. Well, we grow a lot of stuff, and so you juice it and you freeze it for the time period that you don't have any, let's say, mangoes, etc. Okay? So our electric bill hovers around 1,700 to 2,100 Cordobas per month. Okay? Water, it's around 450, 480 Cordobas a month. There's no sewage cost. Garbage, we basically take it to one of our neighbors that has garbage collection, and we pay for his garbage. So they pick it up, and that's 50 Cordobas a month. Okay? Food-wise, again, you know, are you a steak guy? You need to have lots of steak or lobster. You know, your price is going to be high, even though fish prices are reasonable here. Okay, I'm not a fish guy, so I will not talk about fish. But overall, you know, our food bill is around, you know, on a weekly basis, it hovers around 2,000, 2,500 Cordobas, okay? And that includes, you know, that is going to La Colonia and just buying what you need. You know, that sometimes it includes detergent. Sometimes it includes toothpaste or, you know, other ingredients, okay? I think the most expensive thing that we buy is wine, okay? And that one is in dollars. We basically go and buy a few cases, and more than a few cases, but don't say. We probably end up buying, well, the last time I bought 12, 13 cases, and I think I ended up paying, it was around $460 US, okay? So yeah, that's expensive if you do it that way, right? But it is lower cost because I get a discount for volume, you know, etc. So when you look at it, it is costing us around 230 cordobas per bottle, okay? And I love to drink wine with my meal, so we have a bottle a night, okay? And it's also healthy, you know? So 2 glasses, that should be all okay. So we talked a little bit already about groceries. We talked about electric and water. I'm not going to talk about gas because the car is really used for business. Otherwise, you know, I got a motorcycle. I could do everything with my motorcycle with no problem. Or take one of the chicken buses or the other type of buses, or even just getting a taxi. So in Granada proper, I think right now you could ride and use a taxi for around, I think, 20 cordobas. I know that when we have our cleaning lady come, it costs her, I think, 40 cordobas to come from Granada all the way to our house, okay, which is towards Catarina area. So let's talk about cleaning as well as your workings, staff, etc. So cleaning person, because she comes out of Granada, etc., we give her around $350 per day, and then the cuidador or caretaker gets around $450 a day. Okay. Now those are prorated also with the vacation, also with all the other things you have to pay. Okay. So there you have a feeling what that is going to cost. Yeah, we buy chemicals. We buy, you know, supplies to wash the dogs and things like that. But that's not that big of a cost. I would say we spend more on puppy meds than anything else. But that varies, right? So the worst day I've had in expenses for puppies, I think that was around 500-600 cordobas. I just bought some eye drops for one of the dogs yesterday, and that was 40 cords. You know, buying vegetables. I mean, I went into town and bought from a lady some tomatoes. I bought some onions. I bought 2 pineapples. The pineapples were 30. The 4 tomatoes were 20. And then the onions were per pound. And I bought 2 pounds, and that cost me 40 also. So I just buy it from the food vendors, you know, in our town, and just stop by, see who has what, and I just buy it. That is for us a very easy way to purchase everything. Yeah, I just had to check for a second. I said, is it recording? So yes, it is recording, Paul. It's recording. So I just looked down, don't have coffee, so I'm going to have to stop a little bit and add some more coffee in my cup. So let's say you're going to buy a car. Right now, because of what has happened to the U.S. and global supply chain, cars have really increased in price. So I drive a Suzuki Vitara, which has been a fantastic car. We bought it used, and it cost us, because it was a used car from the rental a lot, and it cost us 3 years ago $11,500, okay, and it had 35,000 kilometers. We got the remaining warranty, which was 3 years, and yeah, that's what the cost was. And then of course you got to go register your car and pay what they call the value added tax, right? So we paid that. Honestly, I can't remember, but it was I think around $400, which is, for me it was reasonable based on how, for example, we came from Kansas and the taxation on Kansas for cars. So we felt it was reasonable. The car that we have works fantastic, and it has taken us to fields, the coffee fields in Matagalpa last week. It also has driven us to Nicaragua into some of the fields there with almost no problem. It didn't get stuck anywhere. I think the biggest problem we have had with this car is the fan belt. We had to replace it twice. And the last time, which was 33,000 kilometers ago, so around 25,000 miles, our maintenance repair cost for the fan belt, new tires that we bought, which was the tires were $750 for the 4, and we bought semi off-road highway, and then the fan belt, the 100,000 maintenance, we ended up paying, I think, $1,550 US. Okay, so haircuts. I get a haircut, but thank God, Ghislaine does that for me. And if she doesn't do it, then I have a person that comes to the house that gives us a massage, and afterwards she gives me a haircut for 200 cords. She gives us a massage for $20, and then I get a pedicure because I have a problem with ingrown nails, so that I have to do that at least every 2 weeks, and that is around 200, 250 cords. Okay? Let me see. So we talked about the house expenses, food, around, like I said, $2,500, $2,000 to $2,500, depending if we buy a steak or, some fancy meat, etc., which we don't. I mean, honestly, we have learned to eat very good for a lot less. And, we will cook Asian food, we will cook Latin American food, European. So we could go a whole bunch of things. And we also go to Bavaria, which is a delicatessen store in Managua. Again, slightly more expensive than going to another place, but they got some great, I was going to say some best sausages, right? And they got some great cheeses. They also got some sandwich meats. We don't eat any more bread. I've abstained from that. So the only time I eat bread is when I go on a trip, so to speak. So I hope that has helped you understand a little bit our cost of living here. Oh, cable. Forgot that. That's hovering around $1,250 Cordovas. My internet, which is a little bit high, because I need to have that special because we live on a farm. That is costing on a monthly basis $65 a month. Okay, and I pay that every 6 months. And then the cell phones, but again, we have more than one cell phone. I have two, and Ghislaine has two. So cell phones, like the one for Claro, I think we're paying, I know what we're paying it is, but there's 4 phones in total with our Claro bill. But if I put them all together, we're paying $120. So just divide and you will see what that is. But each line runs around 25 to 35, depending which line it is, because they're different lines, different internet and packages. Okay. I think I covered everything else. I covered internet, the electric, yeah, I think I covered. If not, ask the question, and I will certainly be happy to advise. And rentals, we own. What's the rental market right now? You got to remember, a rental market is tighter right now. Is less. Why is it less? Because the winter is over in North America, so Canada and the U.S. So a lot of people that were renting have gone home to enjoy the summer months back home. But so if you're going to rent right now, you probably can rent in Granada approximately 10%, 20% lower than the norm, because the high season usually starts around September, October. So a 2-bedroom hovers around 450, 600. 3-bedroom, I would say, is hovering right now around anywhere from 550 to 800, depending what type of a house it is, and depending if you get a nice pool with it, if it has air conditioning inside, and if it is updated, okay, newer. So keep that in mind. San Juan del Sur, we have seen, like a lot of people, you probably heard it, it's gone up. Why has it gone up? Because there's a lot of demand. When demand goes up, supply goes down, prices go up. And so, yeah, it's getting tight. So we're seeing already some people discussing and building properties for rental market. That will go good. But we're also seeing now, finally, more people that thought that San Juan del Sur would be what they wanted, moving out, moving towards León, because in León you're closer to the beaches, prices are lower, because still in León you have a higher occupancy, meaning there's, I shouldn't say unoccupied houses, okay, vacant, I should call it, sorry. I need more coffee, like I said. You know, when you don't have enough coffee in your system, your brain at times doesn't work, or at least mine. It's 6:45, so that's why. Okay, so ask the question, and we will be happy to answer the question in the next vlog. Have an awesome day. Thanks for listening. Take care.